Hello, everyone, and welcome to the College and Beyond Real Talk podcast with Amour. And if you haven't already guessed, I am your host, Amour Carthy. And today's episode 9, we will be exploring mind, movement, and motivation, Ellie's journey at Florida International University. Today's episode 9 is sponsored by Education Innovations. I am the founder and CEO, and our mission is to guide your journey from college admissions to life beyond. So we help students and families. So without further ado, let's bring on our special guest, Ellie. Hi,
Hello.
Ellie. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. So what university are you representing today?
I'm representing Florida International University, or FIU. I'm a student in the Honors College there, a freshman.
Okay, so we're so excited about having you here today and discussing your journey.
Yes, I'm
Why
excited to
don't we
be here.
just, jump right in? I'm sorry to cut you off, but I'm going to jump right in here. What led you to Florida International University, also known as FIU, and why did you choose your major, psychology?
Okay, so I grew up in Atlanta, but I moved here my junior year of high school, and I went to a little private school in Miami, and a lot of the kids from that school end up going to FIU. And FIU is kind of just a big commuter school for like students in Miami. And my dad also really, really wanted me to go to FIU. He is a big fan of the honors program there. So those were a couple of the reasons, but I didn't expect for myself to end up there, but I ended up there and I actually really do love it.
Mm.
So yeah,
Okay, so now
my
you have to
major.
talk to us about psychology. You
Yeah.
chose psychology. Like, why did you choose that major?
So I've always been super interested in psychology and just like counseling and all of that kind of mental health and wellness stuff.
Mhm.
So I took psychology in high school in my junior year.
Before we move on, you said you took psychology. Can you explain to maybe the audience who may not understand what is the study of psychology? Can you explain that to them and then
Yeah.
go, more of why you chose your major?
So psychology, it's kind of broad actually. We learn about like the brain and the way everyone thinks and the way you process things. It can include like dreams and like emotional intelligence. I feel like it encompasses like a ton of stuff.
Hmm.
But it all kind of has to do with like the brain and like your mental awareness kind of side of things.
Okay. So you were saying before I rudely interrupted you, why you chose psychology. Like, yes.
Yeah. So psychology, I took it in high school and I really liked the class. I also loved my teacher. She was like the best and she was like such an inspiration. And yeah, I just ended up falling in love with psychology and I couldn't really see myself doing anything else. Like
Hmm.
even though like my family's in like business, I just couldn't see myself in that field, like not something I'm super passionate about. So I decided to stick with psychology.
I love that. So you told us that you finished at a small private school in Miami. How was that transition from a smaller private environment to a large public university? What was that like for you?
For me, I feel like it was pretty easy just because I went to public school in elementary school and then I went to private middle and high school in Atlanta. But
Hmm.
then I moved and I totally put myself in a completely different city, culture, environment with a bunch of new people in my
Hmm.
junior year. So I kind of already had to like learn how to like really throw myself into like unexpected situations and like meeting new people.
Hmm.
So I feel like I've been pretty good with that. So it was really easy when I transitioned from high school to college to just kind of do the same thing.
I love that. Like when I
Yeah.
say I love that, I don't want people to keep saying I love that. But I mean, I think that's important that you said that basically being in high school and coming from Atlanta to Miami to go to a small private school helped you because it basically prepared you for success at FIU and
Yeah.
going into a new different environment. And so I mean, I guess you're kind of saying like if you didn't have that big transition in your junior year or high school years, it would probably been a
It would have
different.
probably been different, yeah,
Mhm.
for sure. And like it is very big school. I think we have 60,000 students.
Whoa, that's a lot of
That
people.
might not be factual. That's what my teacher said yesterday, though.
Okay.
So,
So your teacher
I'm
said that yesterday. So, I mean, if you can tell us, let's talk about college life and independence. You were saying, you're like, what? How big are your classes and stuff like that?
okay. Well, in the honors college,
Oh, and then can you explain what the honors college is? Because some people don't understand. They think that you go to college and then it's just college. What
mhm.
makes the honors college different from students in the, I guess, regular college?
Okay, so the honors college at FIU, you do have to apply to get in, or you can get invited.
Mhm,
But so then once you get in, you are able to choose your classes first, which is honestly my favorite, like
mhm,
pro, because you get to see the schedules before everyone else gets to. So you get like really good scheduling opportunities.
mhm,
So I only go to school Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. So it's really nice.
mhm.
And then for my classes, my honors classes are around like 15 to 20 students.
Are you serious? And you have
It's super small.
60,000 people at your school.
Yeah, the honors
Wow.
class is pretty small. And then my regular classes depends. My English class is like 25 people. My psychology class is like 120.
Mhm. But you don't
So
have a class where you're like with 500 people.
no, yeah. My biggest class is my psychology class.
So, are you telling me when you applied to FIU, automatically you apply to the honors college, or is it after you get in that you apply to the honors college?
I got in and then I
Mhm.
applied to the honors college.
So they send you an invite and say, "Hey,
Yeah.
do you want?" Oh, okay.
And
So
then,
not everyone is invited to the VIP.
yeah, not
Yeah.
everyone is invited,
Mm.
but but I was, and then I just filled out the application and you have to write an essay, but it's not too bad.
Do they have an interview?
No, they didn't have an interview process.
Okay, so you had to fill out an application. Now, you've been described as independent and a go-getter. How has that played a role in your college experience so far?
It's been definitely it plays a role. Like I live alone now. I live with three girls, so we have roommates, and I've definitely like gotten the experience of like living alone
Mhm.
and kind of like fending for yourself, I guess, because like I have to take care of everything myself. Whereas before in high school, I had my parents obviously to help me out. But so that's definitely been a learning experience.
Wait a minute, do you have your own room and then you all share like the common spaces together, or do you actually have a roommate that's in your room?
I have my own room and my own bathroom. So
That's really, really good. That's
yeah, but we do share like the living room and the kitchen. That's where I am right now. But
all right. So, what were some of the biggest challenges you faced during this year? And how did you overcome them? When I say this year, we know that you're a freshman. What are some of the biggest challenges that you feel that you faced?
okay, for our biggest challenges, I would have to say time management, which is still something that I'm working on.
Hmm.
But it's just a little difficult when I have work and school and
Mm.
my sorority on top of that. So,
Oh, I can't wait to get into that more stuff.
so I do work the days that I don't go to campus.
Hmm.
So I have like I have something to do every single day of the week, pretty much. And my only real day off is Sunday.
Okay. So when you say time management, it sounds like you're still trying to figure out a routine. Is that accurate, or what are you doing to make sure that you don't feel like, oh my gosh, this is way too much? Like,
Yeah.
what do you utilize to
I
help you?
Definitely getting into the swing of things now, but more
Mhm.
in the first semester, I was struggling a lot more because I would like sleep in a little bit later,
Mm.
sleep a little bit later, and then I would just be tired and I wouldn't have enough time in my day to like get all my homework done, go to all my classes, especially Tuesdays. I have
Mhm.
3 classes back to back. So I have
Mm.
11 to 12:15, a 12:30 to 1:45, and a 2 p.m. to 3:15. And then after that, I go to the math lab, and
Mhm.
then I go to the gym, and then I have the rest of the afternoon. But I didn't really get that schedule until this semester, like
Mhm.
down. Like before, I would just wake up. Like sometimes I would like skip breakfast, and then I would be starving the whole day. So,
Mm.
and
I
then I
think,
have to spend money on campus eating. So,
yeah. No, I think that you're sharing a lot with people, which is super important, that it's just not about getting, the time management, making sure you have enough time, but also feeding yourself. And that
and
you
sleep.
have so much to do, you forget,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know? Um, Let me see. So many students struggle with advocating for themselves in college. What are some of the strategies that have helped you confidently navigate college life?
The strategies that have helped me navigate college life,
Mhm.
probably just looking out for myself. I feel like I oftentimes do a lot of things for other people
Mhm.
and put myself on like the back burner.
Mhm.
Um, so I've been like trying to like fix that.
Mm.
Not that I don't want to do things for other people, but like I need to also put myself first in a lot of
Mhm.
situations. Like, yeah, just like
So you're
doing.
saying that you're prioritizing you instead of other people, which is
Yes.
super important.
Yes.
Okay. Now, let's talk about your passion, or actually no, cuz you shared a lot with us. You were saying that you go to school full time, um and that you also had, you work and you're in a sorority. Tell us more about that.
Okay. So my sorority.
Mhm.
So I rushed in the fall in around September and I joined my sorority. It's called Delta Phi Epsilon,
Mhm.
D Phi E. It's pretty big here in South Florida. I don't know if it's that large in other schools,
Mhm.
but for us down here, it's pretty big. And yeah, I really do love it. Our values are justice, sisterhood, and love, which I support all of those things. And I really like our philanthropies, which is the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation and
Mhm.
um, anorexia and other associated disorders. So
Mhm.
those are our two foundations that we support, and I really like they resonate with me. So I am a big fan, and we have a bunch of events, and we have chapter every week, and formals. So it's definitely like another added thing on top of school and work, and definitely another expense as well.
Mhm.
But I've been enjoying it so far. I think it's definitely worth it.
So I can't believe, wait, this is literally your second semester of college, and your first semester rushed into a sorority, became part of a sorority, worked full time. I'm not worked full time, went to school full time, and worked part time. Like that is, yes. I think the
Yes.
people need to know, and then just people need to know what is possible. So now you have a passion for mental health and Pilates, especially. Mental health is something you're passionate about. What inspired your interest in psychology and mental wellness? I know that you said that your teacher did,
Mhm.
but were there any other events, or what did your teacher do to inspire you?
My teacher was just like the best person alive. Like she was just so sweet, had the best energy like coming into her class. I
Hmm.
was always excited to learn.
Hmm.
Like she made the learning experience like fun and interesting. I mean, I was also interested in the topic,
Hmm.
but I like really looked forward to her class.
Mm.
So that was for her. And then I've been going to therapy like for a long time, since like sophomore year of high school.
Mhm.
And I just feel like mental health is really important. I feel like it's kind of like the foundation for how you look at things
Mm.
and like how you go about your life.
Mhm.
So I feel like just for me, it's super important. But um, yeah, that's kind of what really inspired me, especially like going to counseling.
Thank you for sharing that. I think a lot of people don't understand that you can get counseling or, a therapist, at a young age, and it's
Mhm.
not bad,
Yeah. And
Um,
I don't want it to be something that's like taboo. So like,
exactly. I mean, and then the other part is when you're young, you're in high school, when you're in college, you can tell your friends your problems and that's fine, but do they have the capabilities and strategies to help you get through them?
no, yeah, exactly.
So,
Mhm.
you're also a Pilates instructor while balancing school. How did you get into Pilates, and how does it complement your focus on mental health?
Yeah, so I work at Solid Core,
Mhm.
and it's kind of like Pilates. I mean, we can call it Pilates, but it's like technically a high intensity, low impact strength training class. That's what I'm supposed to say.
Mhm.
But um, so I got into that about like a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years now.
Mhm.
I was like a junior in high school.
Mhm.
Mm, yeah, maybe like halfway into my junior year. And then, so I first went to a class because my dad's coworker was also a coach. So she
Mm.
brought us, she was like, you should definitely try it out. And I had tried some stuff that was similar, but
Mhm.
never solid core. So I went to my first class and I was like, oh my goodness, that was so hard, but I have to go back. Like,
Mm.
so then me and my dad ended up going like super often. We were buying single classes left and right. So we were like, why don't we just get a membership?
Mm.
And so him and I both got memberships. We were clients for a year. He's still a client, but
Mhm.
I was a client for a year. And then I was like, you know what? Like, this is something that I really love. I'm really good at it. So
Mm.
why don't I capitalize on that and become a coach? And at this point, I had already become friends with coaches as a client.
Mhm.
So one of my good friends, Christy, she was a coach and she was like, you need to try out. So I went to Aventura, which is like 45 minutes away from here.
Mhm.
And I did the auditions and then I got called back. And then after that, I went through a pretty long training process. I was there in Aventura from 1 to 8 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays for like
Wow.
2 or 3 weeks in July.
Mhm.
And then after that, we had like mic sessions and a bunch of other things. It was a lot of training for sure.
Mhm.
Um, and then after that, I finally went through coach and training classes. So
Mhm.
I was still getting paid like my training rate.
Mhm.
And then after that, I had passed a pre eval and my final eval. And then I was able to become a coach.
Look at
And now I'm a
you.
coach. Yeah. So
So
I'm
now
coming. Yeah, I'm coming up on my 6 months. I just had my eval the other day, so I'm still waiting to hear back on my feedback. But yeah,
that's amazing. I mean, don't play with Ellie. He shouldn't have some like fake coach. She's went through training and not just I went through this workshop. You
yeah.
have continuous training. That's what it sounds like.
Hmm.
Um, you know, let's see. And do you find that movement and mindfulness practices, like what you're teaching and dealing with your core, help you manage the stress of college life?
Yes, I personally notice such a big difference when I'm moving my body and like being mindful
Mhm.
of like how I'm treating my body, if I'm going outside or not. Like
Mhm.
it makes a really big difference, at least for me. When I if I'm feeling down or if I'm even feeling like I'm starting to get a cold or something,
Mhm.
I work out and I feel better after. So
Mm.
sometimes I'll be having a really down day and
Mhm.
all I need to do is just like go to solid core or go to the gym and I feel better like immediately. So I do think it's super important, and mindfulness practices as well. Just, yeah.
Do you know what that's called? When you exercise or do your mindfulness, what comes out and what makes you like feel a little bit peppier and
Serotonin or
yes. No, is it serotonin or no, it's endorphins.
endorphins, yes.
Yes, the endorphins are what make you like um I think that's super important just in life too, that it helps you with your mental state. So,
Mhm.
what advice would you give to students who are looking for ways to prioritize their mental and physical well-being? What advice would you give them?
I would say create a schedule, not to be super hard on yourself. Obviously, if you need to rest, you listen to your body.
Mhm.
Um, but I think having a schedule recently, what I've been doing is I've been waking up really early in the mornings, which if you told me that a year ago, I would have laughed in your face because I don't wake up early. Like I was the type of person, I'm not going to have a class before 12 p.m. because I'm not getting out of bed until 11.
Mhm.
So, but now I've been waking up at like 6, 7, going to the gym, being back in my apartment by 9, showering, eating breakfast, going to class after.
Mhm.
And then I feel like so much more productive with my day,
Mhm.
and I'm off on a really good start. I feel like it's the
Mm.
best way to start your day, moving your body, getting out of bed, and like having a plan. I feel like
Mm.
it's really, really helpful. So that's my advice, I think.
I like that. So, would you say that if back in the day when if you were waking up late and all that, did it add to stress in your life? And do you feel less stressed because you
It
wake up so early in the morning and then you have a routine?
It did because I would wake up later and then I feel like my day was compressed and I had only had so much time to get everything done, to work out. So now that I'm waking up early and I can move my working out time to the morning, I
Mhm.
have the whole afternoon to do my homework, to like go to class, to catch up on whatever I need to catch up on.
Okay. So I might have to wake up a little bit earlier then and at least do some mindfulness or stretching or something and then get going with my day. I mean, yes, with getting everyone ready for school and work and all of this, it just like you said, it feels compressed.
Mhm.
So maybe I need to really go to bed a little bit earlier and then
I'm
stop
still
staying up so
trying.
late.
I'm
Like,
still trying with the going to sleep early part. It's
yeah,
definitely a work in progress.
I have a bad habit of sleeping really late because I like a quiet house and to just read or just think about or do whatever I want.
Mhm.
Um, but I think, like you said, having a routine, maybe getting up early is super important because back in the day, when I was young and not fluffy. I say young and not fluffy. Um, at one point, I was going to the gym or to a trainer for 2 years
Mhm.
straight and having a 5 a.m. workout. So when I was done in the morning, it just felt, and then seeing the sunrise and all that, it just felt like,
Exactly. It just feels so
yes,
nice. I
yes,
saw
it
the
was like
sunrise
I
this
got this.
morning on my way to the gym, and I was like, this is so nice. Like, what was I doing before I did this? Like,
Right. I just
mhm.
was thinking to myself, the air is clean, it smells good, watching the sun, right? So maybe that's something I need to
Yeah.
do.
It also kind
Um,
of makes me feel like a little ego boost. Like, I'm awake right now, and
yes,
so
and everybody's asleep,
yeah. So I feel like
and
it's
I'm
good.
working on me.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes. So, you have some adventures and road trips that you've done. You've been on a few road trips with friends since starting colleges. What have been some of your most memorable experiences?
Mhm. So I went on 2 road trips this year,
Mhm.
throughout my college life. And so, well, I've been on a couple actually. I've been to Orlando as well. So, the first one I went to Orlando for my sorority's formal, and that
Mhm.
was super fun. It was everyone from my sorority and all of our dates, and it's like a couple nights. So it was like two nights, 3 days, and we had a blast. We
Mhm.
went all around Orlando, and the formal itself was super fun. And having everyone stay in one big house was also super
Ooh.
fun.
Mm-hmm.
So I really liked that one. And then
Are
I
you
went
literally in the car? Are you guys driving or do you guys fly? When you say a road trip, what do you
in the
mean
car.
like we're in the car? So during those trips, what are you talking about? What are you listening to? Like, what do y'all do?
It kind of depends. Sometimes we'll be listening to music, or sometimes we'll be having like deep conversations. It depends who I'm with.
Mm-hmm.
But for my formal, I went up with my brother in my fraternity and my big in my sorority.
Mm.
So that car ride was, I mean,
You said a big. What does a big mean?
a big is like, well, he's like my big brother. So like I chose him as
Oh.
my big brother. So I had
Mm.
my big brother and then my sibling, his little.
Okay.
So we had a little family car ride. So with them, we didn't really get into anything deep. But when I went to FSU with my girlfriends, I
Mm-hmm.
was driving and they were all in the car. And that was like an 8-hour trip.
Mm-hmm.
So we talked about everything. We talked about our futures. We talked about just like issues going on in the world. We talked about everything. It
Yeah.
was super fun.
So
And then
I
I
think
went to Tennessee.
so you went to Tennessee. So what did you do in Tennessee?
Well, Tennessee was a long trip. I flew there on the way and
Mm-hmm.
I met my girl big sister in my sorority and
Mm-hmm.
her family.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we went skiing in Gatlinburg. It's like a
Oh. Mm-hmm.
little ski lodge area. And it was super fun. We went on like the scenic chairlifts and it was a really quick trip. It was
Mm-hmm.
only like 2 nights,
Mm-hmm.
but it was such a blast and I had so much fun and it was cold and I got to experience like the weather because here it's always really warm. But
So is that your first time going skiing?
it was my second time or third time going skiing, but I haven't been skiing since I was really young. I was like 5.
Mm.
So technically it was like my first time skiing.
So was it also too your first time to Tennessee?
I think so. I think it was.
And so since you also were saying that you were with your friend's family, did you see any like did you have any preconceived notions of what people in Tennessee are like or what her family might be like and then you got there and what was something that surprised you or did you have any notions of what to expect when you went to Tennessee?
Well, her family is all from Miami, so I've like they
Oh.
live here. So that was like normal, but
Mhm.
I mean the people in Tennessee were really nice.
Mhm.
I feel like that area that we went to is it's all tourists and people don't
Mm.
really live there. And they told us that maybe like 5 people live like are residents there and everyone else is just tourists.
Mm.
So yeah, it was like a lot of tourists, but the workers were really friendly. But they had said that they all come from different areas of Tennessee. They drive really far to get there
So
because it's
they don't stay there during the peak season. They drive in and out every day.
yeah, they drive in and out every day to go to work.
Wow, I didn't know
Mhm.
that. You know, and that's one of
And
the places I wanted to check out. So then you're essentially saying like there is no community really there. It's just to for the ski resort, and that's it.
yeah, kind of. I definitely want to go to like Nashville and those areas of
Hmm.
Tennessee, but
Hmm.
I'll have to put that on my schedule for maybe a couple years from now.
You're like I'm so busy.
Yeah.
So as we're wrapping up, let's go into your final thoughts and any advice you would have. If you could give one piece of advice to high school seniors preparing for college, what would it be?
I think it would be to take care of yourself, listen to your body, and to manage your time as best as you can. Those
I
3 things, I think.
Okay. Hmm. Um, so you said take care of yourself, listen to your body, and what was the last one?
Manage your time
And
as
manage
best
your
as
time. That part.
Mhm.
Looking ahead, what are your goals, both academically and personally? as you continued your journey at FIU?
Yeah. So academically, I want to graduate from the honors college. I hope to stay in it all 4 years of high school. I mean, college.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I want to graduate with a psychology degree. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do after. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if I'm going to want to continue, get my master's, maybe look into law.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Personally, right now, I'm thinking of addiction therapy. That's what I've got my
Ooh.
eyes on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is up in the air still. I don't have any for sure plans. Right? That's something I'm still thinking about. But
It sounds like you're learning a lot. So you're just being open
yeah,
to whatever sticks to you. And it sounds like you're exploring that addiction therapy. Maybe something has an event or something you're like, hey, maybe that's something that I could help. And it goes in line with your, the psychology, mental health,
yeah.
movement, all of that stuff.
Hmm.
So, um, you know, as we close out, where can people follow you, um, your journey, and connect with you?
Okay. All my socials, they're all at Ellie Correa, I'm pretty sure. I post on there, I keep people updated with my solid core and my sorority and all of that stuff. And then I also have LinkedIn. So that should be under Elizabeth Correa.
Okay. So I asked you a whole bunch. So why don't you close us out? What are your last parting words for our audience?
Okay, my last parting words, so official that
Yeah.
thank you guys so much for watching, for listening to my story. It's been an honor, and I definitely recommend Coach Carthy for any of your education needs because she's super helpful. She helped me so much in high school. And yeah, I think um, if you have anything to take from what I've said today, to yeah, take care of yourself, move your body, and manage your time as best as you possibly can. And I think that's like the recipe for success
I
in my
love that.
Bye.
So bye, everyone. Thank you so much, Ellie.
Thank
Bye.
you.